Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
And welcome back. And tonight on the Paranormal UK Radio Network, we have the Crypto Realm again. My name's Deborah Hatswell. Okay. And I have a wonderful guest named Mark Farnell. And I've known Mark for a number of years now because he actually witnesses the British Bigfoot. And he's one of the braver witnesses because he was very helpful when we were trying to set up the team and get everything going. Lots of people wouldn't be named, and Mark to help on Elusive, the documentary. He's done artwork for the website. He's an absolute treasure to me, I have to be honest. So with little more ado, hello Mark, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
So as I was explaining people then, you were a young child, as many of us are, and I myself, when you saw something that was life-changing.
Yeah, I still can't. It's putting a finger on it, really. I don't know what it was. I know it. I know what it wasn't. It was. I don't know. See, being a kid as well, only about 13, 14, I'd have been.
Yeah.
So they've happened in '96, summer of '96, in the small village of Tarleton. So I grew up there, so I really didn't think of anything out of line, really. But I went into the woods that time. I went in with a friend of mine, and we just ventured off. Really, left the trail of the footpath and went. We diverted into the woodland. Really, it just, I don't know. We just carried on going because we never actually experienced that part of the woods before. So we carried on walking through, and it was strange because I know you feel something not right. Really, I don't know what it was. I couldn't really grasp it, but. We carried on anyhow. We ventured through. We got to a bit of a clearing, and this part of the clearing that we actually knew this part of the clearing. We actually got to it via the area we'd not been through before. Got to the clearing, and we thought we saw somebody walking the dog. Well, we thought it was somebody walking the dog, which I knew it wasn't, but I was hoping it was.
Yeah.
Because I could see it wasn't a person, but I could see it was a person as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was it wasn't far from us. That's what probably put the fear in God into me more so, because it was less than 20 foot away. And when it came into a bit of a clearing, that's when we noticed what it was. And it threw me off guard, really, especially. It was kind of because I remember it it carried on walking, and then it stopped. We both looked at it and thinking, right, okay, this is wrong. And then all of a sudden, it just let out like a groan, like a grunting groan at us, and I thought, right, that's obviously not a person. And I made my way out of that woods faster than I've ever ran in my life. And I never left. The thing is, I remember I never left the wood. We got into the entrance part of the woods where we just stopped and we kind of collaborated our thoughts together and thought, right, what was it? So stupidly enough, we ended up getting sticks and being kids, we ventured back to try to see what it was.
Yeah.
We walked all the way around the woods, and it's not a big wood. It's not a big wood. It's big enough. Was then. It's not so much now, but and we got to the part right at the very back of the woods, and it joins onto it's like a pre-laid cornfield, so it wasn't high. It was probably about a meter high, the cornfield, and you could see a trail. I remember seeing the trail. You could see like something's gone across, and at the far end of that field, there's another section of wood further down. So I'm thinking, whatever it could have even, I don't know. I just really, after that.
You don't have to supply those answers. You were just one of the unfortunate fortunates. You were out, you were out with your mates. You were doing what most of us do as kids in the UK. We head for the woods, don't we? That's what we do. There we go.
Sorry,
Okay,
it's my little lad here.
It's all right. I don't mind a bit.
Turn that down.
Daddy's on the radio.
I know. Yeah, you're on the radio. Believe that. Yeah, go and find your mum. Yeah.
On YouTube, this is 10 minutes, lad.
Yeah, it's wicked, yeah. No, but the thing is, what puzzled me more was, like I said, I've been brought up around that area, so I never thought of anything. But it wasn't tall. I remember seeing it, and it wasn't much taller than us. So it wasn't like what people like the Americans probably see it as, like 9, 10 foot tall. It was nothing. It wasn't that size. It was about 5.5 foot, 6 foot. You're not having the radio. No, you're not on this radio. Sorry. He's going in the kitchen. That's good. Yeah, but like I said, when you're brought up in that area, all you know is the fields and the woods of that area. You don't really know what else is there. And then
you just don't have a clue, do you? This history of Bigfoot in the UK. You don't go to school or... Well, we'll stop calling him Bigfoot, because neither you nor I think that's the correct word for him. Bigfoot's a name that describes any hominid, isn't it? Anything that's up on 2 feet. Yeah.
It looked more wider than it did in the height, if you get me. It looked wider. So, but its colouring, it was like a dark grey, brown colour, really dark grey. But it had like matted parts on it that you can see.
I remember saying that.
So it was right. Bear with me. He's put the radio on. 1 second.
I've got listeners. You know what they like. They won't want you in a bit when you're not on the radio.
Yeah, silence again. Yeah, keep it off a minute, Jamie.
There we go.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got a 4-year-old grandson. He says, "Oh, you're not Bigfooting again, are you?"
Ow! Ow!
Sorry. If you want.
Say again.
You want to start again?
If it's needed, yeah. But no, like I said, because I was brought up around that area, and I wouldn't say it was a big foot, but it wasn't a person.
Yeah, exactly that. Almost primal. That's what I thought. I thought it was like.
I thought I probably misguided it as being something else, but it wasn't anything else. And I saw it clear enough to know it wasn't.
Yeah. We haven't got an animal like that, have we? There is nothing in the UK that can rise to 2 feet that's hairy.
Oh, no.
So instantly you think, well, it's not a wolf.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, and like for me, it was. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but for me, it looked like if you had to describe like an ancient man, but hairy.
Yes, I could barely. I could barely see its face.
Yeah,
but it was hunched over.
Yeah,
but the mat of the hair, how thick the hair was, you couldn't make out the features on its face.
Yeah,
but it looked like it had no neck. It was like its head and then its shoulders. Yeah. If you get me.
No, I get you. I understand. And that crouched over position.
Yeah, it was like it was always like leaning. It looked like it was leaning when it was stood.
Yeah. That comes up over and over and over again, actually.
Yeah. So I was, to put myself in shoes of someone else, I'd rather have been than have experienced that at that age. But I never told anybody. Me and my friend, we kept it. And it was hard to keep it quiet. In the area that we lived in, we didn't want to be ridiculed. So really, we thought,
yeah, exactly. I think it's the same for all witnesses. I want to explain to people out there about the area. Some people would think Tarleton was, it's in the northwest. It's quite industrialised. It is not. It's quite it's farmland, isn't it? There's a lot of
it. Back then, you could walk miles and not pass a house. You could walk for a long way. Yeah. And there's the river that runs through it.
I was just going to say, I think that might be the corridor. It's really overgrown, that river, isn't it? It's,
yes.
The guy actually went down after I'd spoken to you. And I was like, well, I understand. I mean, it's compared, my area is incredibly urban.
Yeah.
Compared to Tarleton. And there are other accounts on that area. You're so close to the sea, really, that you could go from your fields where all the farm food is to the sea in a day easily, couldn't you? If you
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It'd be an incredibly important area for resources. So you were making like most lads in the UK will have done this, where you make like ramps for your bikes and just out in the woods. Yeah,
that was what it was. It was more of a, because it was the area that we walked through. It was the area that we usually run through, like a cross country track, if you will. Yeah. But the area that we took on that day, I'd not been through that bit before, so it was quite brushy. And then when we got to the clearing where we knew, because it's kind of near the centre of the wood, the clearing, I said the distance from it, but when it saw us, or rather when we saw it, it kind of, it's like we stopped it in its path, if you get me.
Yeah, I get you.
So I kind of like felt bad on that, and then I'm thinking, what if it remembers? Yeah, and then being a kid at that age, you think it's going to follow you back.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
And I didn't really. That's when it got really frightening for me. Then I thought, I've not seen it. It looked massive in muscle. It looked huge in muscle.
I understand everything that you're saying, because it's the same for all of younger witnesses. The adults have it bad enough, but they're adults and they have an adult brain to kind of work it out. Where we've got witnesses that are 5 and 6. I mean, me and you were like, you were 13, I was 15. Even though at 15 and 13, you can't tell your mates.
No.
You can't tell your teacher.
No.
Your mum and dad just think you're being a bit dramatic, don't they? Yeah, you've just seen a homeless man or something like that. That's what I got. And then you're just left with that. You're supposed to kind of think, well, hey, do I ever go back and play there again? What if he's there again?
Yeah, well,
that's what went through.
Yeah, I know that, because we didn't go back there. Actually,
I didn't.
Probably almost a year after that happened, we never went back there. We found other areas to hang around. We just never went back there again.
Did it change your outlook on the world in general? It did for me. For me, it had an effect kind of where I thought, if that's out there and nobody knows, what else is out there?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, I thought, and I said to Chris when he did that interview with me, I said, I've seen it. It knows I've seen it, so it's trying to be as elusive as possible. It doesn't want to be seen.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything like that. And what if its type of things, its kind, basically. How are they going to look upon it? Oh, you've let us down. You've let someone see you, and then you start thinking, what if it could turn into almost like a revenge thing? Really, it's like, right, they're angry. So you think, I'm treading around. I don't want to here.
It's a dilemma, isn't it? And people seem to they love the stories, and I don't think they realise that there's a person behind that story with a life, and then you think, oh, that's fantastic. I mean, we all do it. We listen to Dogman Diaries and things like that, and it's great. It's entertainment. But in our position, we realise that there's a person behind that. And we know how hard it is to actually, even as an adult, come out and say, well, actually, that happened to me.
Forward and say it,
Yeah. And I'm hoping by doing the radio show that the more witnesses we can get on. I had a gentleman on that I recorded with last week, and he's speaking about interactions with dogmen. And I thought, we had a really normal chat about it. There was no drama or anything like that. And I was so pleased, because I thought people might start to understand that on the other side of these wonderful accounts are actually people who are trying to piece it together, and probably have done, like in your case, for decades.
Yeah,
I know. It's really hard, isn't it?
It's hard to put a finger on it, really. It's, there's so much. I mean, like I said, they're going on all over the place, and there's no way the government don't know about them. There's no way. I mean, I was talking just before to a chap. I've forgotten his name. He was on Facebook. I think it's Gil. I think I was reading on about the governments are keeping this under wraps, because they don't want outspill. You don't want religion crash down everything else.
Everything, yeah.
And then you start thinking, well, it's quite a big thing actually. When you look at all the ins and outs of it, no wonder no one's come forward.
Yeah,
but it is a species of person. I mean, what if it's Neanderthal? It could well be.
There is that train of thought. If you don't mind me nipping your line for a second, we actually spoke to somebody that's she's like a primate analyst kind of. She studies primate behaviour and things like that.
Right.
And there are a number of hairs that are out there that have been sampled through DNA, and they have come back as 92% human.
Gosh.
So he would be a brother or a cousin, or even between us and the Neanderthals or one of the other hominids.
Yeah.
That has probably always been here. Maybe he's been here about 10,000 years longer than us.
Yeah.
Which might tell us why he's so better at this planet than we are.
Exactly that reason. They've spent the whole life hiding. So if they know how to do one thing, they know how to hide.
Yeah.
Or in their way, maybe it's not hiding at all. I mean, there's a lot of speculation, isn't there, in the paranormal realm where they're able to go almost like a ghost, like where they just disappear, they appear as quick as they disappear, kind of thing. But it's hard to put. I mean, what I saw I know what I saw and what you saw. I mean, I know it was full-blooded. It was real what I saw. And I still remember the noise it made. It's still in my head. I know exactly what it made, but it's. You just wish the whole world was in that wood at the time just to see it.
Yeah, or there's a machine that they can put on top of your head and pull that picture out.
A GoPro camera or something just to see and hear exactly what I saw in.
Yeah. See, where you live, there is a river estuary, and river estuaries, as we know, us humans followed them way back because it was the best place to be if you wanted to survive.
Follow the food,
So A, you'd already got that, it's set up.
Yeah.
And B, it's people say, there's not enough habitat for him in the UK. Only 6.9% of the UK is urban.
Yeah.
The rest of it is green, you see. So the government can build on that at any point they want. They don't want to admit that there's another species out there because they'd never be able to build, mine, log again. Can you imagine the permits they'd have to get? Once people realised that you'd get mass panic, wouldn't you? You'd have and then you'd have people like us who were saying, well, they need protecting, they need the same rights that we have. And these national parks that are set up for tourists, get the tourists out and leave that for them.
Yeah.
It's just, and there are accounts, as both you and I know, where army personnel have been seen.
Yes.
Not too long after said creature, you see.
Yeah, there's that what happened at what was it? That those hikers that disappeared, those 9 hikers.
I don't know that one.
9 hikers. I forgot what it's called. Deitlov. Is it Deitlov Pass?
Oh yeah, I know the one you mean now. Yeah, it's a Russian word, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was watching a documentary about late last year, and there was a part of the film that had never been shown before, and on it there was getting followed by a creature, and you saw the creature, and it's followed, and it peered round this picture. It's a photograph, and it's not a person. I'm looking at him. It's like a backflash to what I saw in a way, but
is that the closest you've seen online? Because he's that one picture. We all have that one picture where we go, it's nearest I can get is that. Yeah.
I mean, for that, but how it stood. And how it's crouched sort of way, I'm thinking that's it. It's like that, but what I saw was more rugged looking.
Yeah.
When I saw it, it was more like he'd been dragged through a hedge backwards and then back through again.
He might have been sick. There's this theory, and I get the name wrong, and it's to do with the hair.
Right.
And the best way I had it explained to me, like, when if you caught a magpie looks black and white.
Yes.
As you move it, it has an iridescent colour within it.
Yeah.
And oil and petrol does that, doesn't it?
Yes.
So this theory that when they are at their peak and their hair is oil covered and cleaned and preened and precise, that's what they're using to blend in and out.
Yeah.
If they're sick or confused for some reason and they're in an area and they're not really sure where they are, like the Evesham creature, for instance, where it's trying to hide behind a lamppost of all things.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's taken the wrong turn off the river, because like where you were, the river was exactly there. I mean, you couldn't walk to that river in a minute or two, couldn't you?
No, yeah, you could.
Maybe it's come up in the wrong bit, or you've been making a noise and it's thought, oh, that's some of me.
It's attracted to a sound of some sort, or whichever.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, because you were out and you were having a laugh.
Yeah.
Was it that? Because that's what I was doing. I was rolling about on the grass with my mate having a laugh. Girls make a lot of noise when they're 15. And I always wonder if that's what attracted it in a way.
Yeah, because I thought of being in that area, because it's the woods. You've got the woods, but around you've got, I mean, the main lane, it's Car Lane. It's a main road that runs through, but it's not a main road as say, it's more of a back road, but it's got houses on it. But other than that, you are in the fields where that wood is. At the back part of that field, back part of that wood, it's all fields. I mean, as far as your eye can see, it's fields.
It is, and I think we always tell them to look for a railway line, don't we?
Yes, follow railway line. Yeah, yes.
The railway line is right there, and you've got the River Douglas, and it's steps away, isn't it? Now, if we said that they use humans as a food source, and I don't mean that they're eating us, I mean like university bins, or that's there. Everything's there. That if I wanted to go wild, I think that's where I want to be. There's lots of little pockets of woods. There's lots of easy food access. I can hit the fields. I can get in the river and get fresh water, and I can follow that river out to sea and eat everything along the coast. And I'm up there on the River Valley then. I can go wherever I want.
Yeah.
I think you've seen something moving through for food.
Passing through, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the theory. That's my theory, is what I'm saying.
That's what I'm thinking. And then you're thinking, again, you keep going, you're thinking, why Talton? But again, like you said, just a wrong turn. We all do them. We all make the odd mistake.
Yeah, there's a parallel wood not too far away.
Yeah.
Talton in general, I think, because of the resources, that actual wood itself, maybe it's just come up once when it should have gone twice, if you get what I mean. It's just picked the wrong turn. We don't know. That's why you're one of the unfortunate. How many people have said to you, Mark, I wish I could see one?
Oh God, yeah, all the time. And I've said, really, you probably shouldn't have. No. It's not some. I mean, it never did any harm or anything, but emotionally,
I get it.
It was something I'll never forget from what I went through.
You can never walk the dog again the same.
No.
And, you can never go on holiday with the kids the same. And, like, camping was a nightmare for me.
Yeah.
Not having wanting to tell my first husband, because I never really opened up about it until I married Mark. So there'd be places where we'd go with the kids and my mood would go on. And it wasn't a mood. It was, I don't want to be here. We're right up against the tree line. He'll get me. I was convinced for 20 years he was going to come and get me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I took my wife there. I think it was year before last. And I'd not been since, actually, I'm thinking about it. I've probably not been since I saw it, to be honest. But it's changed. The layout of it's changed slightly now. But I went into that wood and I was the most nervous. I was almost in a wreck going in that wood, to be honest. Because it was a whole new way into the wood. You didn't go into it the way I used to go into it, because it's the main path.
So you've lost your bearings.
And I went in. I've never been anywhere as quiet in my life. I went in there. I felt every eye was on me when I was in that wood. And I said to Janine, I don't really want to stay here much longer now. I don't feel the feel of it just doesn't. It's not right.
Yeah, I was the same. I went back to. It took me 32 years to go back to Beulah.
Yeah.
And even then, when I went back, I'm glad I did.
Yes. Yeah.
It made him smaller, because I did think he was about 10 feet. But when I went back, And I looked at it through adult eyes. I thought, no, he was probably like 7 foot tall or something.
Yes.
Plus, I was laying on the ground, so my perspective might be way out.
Exactly. Yeah.
It made it smaller for me in a way, thank God. And weirdly, thought, I wonder if he knows I'm here. I don't know what.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought when I thought, I felt all the eyes were on me. I thought, he's gonna come back. He's gonna come and get. He knows it's me. He knows I saw him. But the thing, I remember when I walked home from that wood, when I saw it, it felt wrong walking home. I was walking back, and I kept looking behind me all the way home just to see if anything was following me. And it was daylight. It was late afternoon when it happened. So, but when you're a kid, I said at 13, you're thinking, God,
your mind's blown, it blows your mind.
Yeah, I'm thinking I can only run so fast.
You got to remember, I speak to army personnel who were out on manoeuvres. You see them who were terrified.
Yeah.
I've got police officers that have made reports who were terrified. And a guy the other day who I spoke to was 6'7" and 17 stone, who said to me, people come to me when there's trouble, Debbie. I'm an handy lad, but I will never drive that road again. And they're adults. So for us, we're kids, and we have to kind of deal with it. My dad was a handy lad. He was, he worked on the docks. He was a builder. He was a big man, my dad. And when I saw it, it could have flicked my dad. Just flick like that. He offered no. There was just no way. He was huge. You can't describe the size of them, can you? And don't mean how. I mean the actual build of them.
Yeah, that's what I mean with the muscle. I said that to Chris. I remember that. I mean, it was like his arm was like 2 of my legs, just one arm.
Yeah, that's it.
And then the hair on top of it. So really, it could be a lot bigger than.
See, that's even worse because I only saw shoulders and chest.
Well, I saw from the knee upwards.
Right.
From the knees upwards, but on top of its head part, it was mainly covered with brush a little bit. That part, but you could see the outline of it. And it had almost a humpback look. Yeah. As say, I mean, maybe that was just hair all matted. I don't know. But how it was stood, it looked like it could have been a humpback. That
comes up a lot. This hunched figure.
Yeah. Yeah. But how it was stood, it was stood like it was just. It was stood like it was leaning on something.
Right.
It was leaning, but it stood and it didn't move. It's like it watched us. You could see it peering through the trees at us.
Yeah.
And for no reason at all, it just let out this gurgle sound, which enough to make me run like I've never ran before. But in comedic terms, I remember it did the sound, and I looked at my friend, and he looked at me, and I thought, I'm not waiting for you. I'm going my way. If you want to follow me, follow me.
Yeah.
I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah.
And I was gone. And all the way, I'd never ran as fast in my life. And my friend said to me, he said, later on, he said, you went. All I could see was twigs coming back from where you'd gone through. You was gone. I went, I'm not waiting round. That thing's running after me. It's going to know how to run in a wood as well. It'll catch me in seconds if need be.
I pushed Debbie over. I pushed her over.
You know what? That's the thing. It was stood on my right, my friend. It was stood on this side of me. He was stood up. I was crouched down. I thought, I'm feeling a bit unnerved here. I feel, this could probably get nasty very quickly if, it's made the sound it made. Just that sound, and then that'll live by me. That sound it made, because I couldn't even do it. That's why I know it wasn't a person.
Yeah,
the gurgle, the deep croak of it. It was. Yeah,
it's indescribable, isn't it? To me, it was like this. He didn't make a noise when I saw him, but years later, when I was researching properly on the ground, I heard something behind me that I felt at the same time as I heard it. It was that deep and that bass, and it was like this old man clearing his throat noise.
Yes. Like
and
it right
back there. It took me right back. All my body's behind me in those bushes, and I got off. Yeah, I'm not bad. Back then, it was like, oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
and you just, oh, I know what you mean about it taking you back. It takes you right.
It's
Garlic, because right next to where I saw him, there was this sensory garden, and it had like lavender, really. And when I that, and some that takes me back. I think, oh, there's come back of my neck again.
Yeah, it was.
I know he wouldn't do anything to me, and he's still there, but he's still there with you, isn't it? Because you're inbred.
I know. You've become
it's in
part of
there,
its life, if you get me.
Yeah. Chris,
if I remember it, it remembers it as well. And I'm thinking, it knows what I look like. So I've not got a chance, and I would. I'm thinking if it wants to come for me, it'll get me. But they're not obviously there for that. But you're hearing accounts from people getting attacked and
not so much in the UK. We tend to get that that diversionary noise. Yeah. So there's lots to do with the new witnesses. I say, well, look at it from another point of view. What if they're young with it? So I had to make that noise to get to go. Or you just my mind trying to make decision. Like we were speaking, maybe it got lost. It didn't know where it was. It's come up the wrong place. Holy hell, what do I do now? I'll just hide in these bushes because normally in the wild, when you see them, there is an adult with them. Maybe it's thinking, oh my, I'll let you see two bear cubs, and you'd be like, right, well, where's Mum?
Exactly. And I'm thinking, and now you've said that, I'm thinking, because it wasn't very tall, it wouldn't have been alone. It couldn't have been. It'd have had it'd have had one of its kind with it somewhere.
It's probably a bit worlds,
I'm thinking it could have been right behind me at that point when I turned around and ran. I mean, when you think of it like that, it's quite horrific, but when you're a kid at 13, 15, you just want to get out of there as quick as you can. Not good.
It looked after me and it was there, and I just got out of there. I'd had a jet tell us it was like you're on your own, love, if you make it out, and he's gone.
Yeah. And
he got it. They go, oh no.
I bet.
You imagine that conversation. And I'm talking, he said, back the area of his partner because he to the labour and then stood showing her. Well, I said, come on, God, and get in the car, shut the door, the one that's trying to box me in. He said, I was just out there, and the bell in that car was the biggest ever. And that really freaked out, I'll be honest. I was like, oh my Lord, can you imagine that?
Oh, frightening.
I know, what would you do in that? I was just having a drink of my brew. So where did it take you? Did you put it to bed and think, no, I'm not even going to think about that ever again?
I tried.
Yeah.
But because the village was only small, the living area was only small, there's nothing much to think about when you're in a place like that.
Yeah.
And nothing like that ever happens. So it just stayed between me and my friend, really. We thought we're never going to tell anybody. We told my friend's mum. She believed us.
Right.
It's like word got out. I don't know who told who or whatever. Word got out, and then we got a lot of stick from it, really. And I thought, I had one of my other friends saying it had been a cow. I'm thinking it was not a cow.
No.
Cows don't walk around on two legs, crouched over. And the sound.
Right.
I'm thinking,
the amount of times I've been told it was a bad job, or just what? You've lived there all your life. You know all the animals there.
Exactly. At age 13, I've seen pretty much everything, and I know what it. And that's when I came to. I know exactly what it wasn't, and it wasn't a person. It wasn't a known animal I've seen, and the sound it made, the grunting growl it made, like the clear of its throat, probably just to scare me off. It worked. It worked, but that I said that it kind of affected the rest of my life now because I know exactly what sound it made, and it was aimed at me. If you get me, and I
makes
thought
perfect sense.
it's
In the
like,
same. Ground at you, and that can stay in your mind forever. People are scared of dogs because of one incident.
Yeah.
We've got that times 1,000 because at least dogs exist, and you can say to someone scared of dogs. But you try saying to someone in your 30s, well, actually, no, I don't fancy camping out overnight because I don't want that feral man to get me. Yeah, it's not really a conversation.
No,
I mean, it's changed. It's a bit like Elusive, the documentary. More, I think when Chris started that, he thought he'd get one or two people. But been a lot more than that, hasn't it? So people really are saying, well, actually, that happened to me, and the same happens in the Ivy Den in Yorkshire, a similar situation where they're just hanging a rope over a stream. The area looks identical to yours. And they've seen something up the tree and the other been on the other bank of the river. And they exactly the same thing. It's cowed at him and they, legged it kind of thing. When you look at the area, there's allotments there full of food. So...
I mean, we could ponder all year, really wondering, of how and that. But it's the effect it's made on probably both our lives, really. That.
Yeah, we won't be doing this now, otherwise.
And I'm angry. I'm angry as well because my mum was brought up in that area. Why didn't it happen to her? Not me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When people say, "Oh, I'd love it," so you be careful what you wish for, because it's not. Now, at least, someone put it to well, look at all the people who've seen it. But back then, we were all communicating. So we're all in our little towns, all across the island, all thinking we're the only one. And you get what I mean? That's why I started doing what I did. I went to the library and she gave me Stig of the Dump, and it was like the biggest insult ever. And I thought, this woman thinks I'm mental. Oh, just give her that she'll go away. And there was no way because, like you, I thought he was going to get me. He's going to find me house. It's worth for you. I lived in the
Yeah, I thought that because I lived probably from where I live to the wood is a 5-minute walk away.
Exactly.
I'm in the woods in 5-6 minutes. Yeah. If I can walk there, and if it can walk where it was, now it's stopping, and no door would have stopped that walking in.
Yeah, that's it. That's all that stays in your head, isn't it? Yeah, I that's thinking that you're in a tiny little village.
Yeah, and as I said, back then there was probably only about 300 people living in that village. Then it was really small. You had the main little outlet, and then most of it was farms and barns. That was mainly all it was: farms, barns, the occasional little shrubbery of trees, and the little woods here and little woods there. The bankment of the river.
Masses of food in the fields.
Yeah.
24. I mean, it's 12 months a year, isn't it? If it's the same as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just continuously thing. Then you think on top of that, you've got like your horses. Yeah. You got that river there, haven't you? So you've got a load of like the rats on that will be as big as.
Well, you've got that. You've got the river, and then right next to it, you got the canal as well. So the canal forms on. They run side by side, the river and the canal.
So lovely little corridors they would be, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big rip. It's the Leeds and Liverpool Canal, so it goes for miles, that one.
I know. I was looking at what else was in the area before we started chatting, and there's a couple that are on the map. Not on the map yet. More Ellesmere Port, so between me and you.
Yes.
And I thought, that is an easy walk for a biped. That's not out of realm of thinking. I could be there tomorrow. We could just put my mind to it, and just had a bit of a walk. Coming all the way to Risley. Similar reports. And we've got that one that's running down the M6, heading in your direction.
Yeah.
And the 2 cars of women see it. And she actually, weeks after, came to me and explained that it had breasts. And I think that's the only account I've ever taken in the UK where breasts were mentioned.
Wow.
And I thought, why would you make that up? There's no reason to put, you'd say, you know, if you was making it up normally, the witnesses give you this standard, or, you know, and it ripped me head off, and there's just certain flags that go up where you think, oh, here we go again. But with her, it was like, it was a woman, it was built like a man, it was covered in hair, but it had boobs, Debbie, and I don't mean boobs for pain, I mean like it had young boobs. And I was like, that's amazing, because that's the only one I can think of.
I mean, that's filled out a lot of holes. I mean, it kind of gets you thinking. I mean, I could probably draw what I saw even now. I've not forgotten exactly what I saw. I remember every single bit of that, of what I saw.
You could do that. That might be. I was lucky. I went to a woman who did police photo fits.
Right.
And she drew him for me. So, because I knew I couldn't describe him, and then I saw a face that looked like him, not the same, but they could have been cousins. And it was a Sykesville monster. And I said to her, it kind of looked like that, but the jaw was much thicker. And she said, well, I'll use that as a base, and you taught me through it, and that's what we did. And it, near as damn it's not, I'd say it's 75% there. You couldn't put them together and go, oh, yeah, they're definitely the same. Because you can't describe the skin, and it's kind of like the hair kind of shadows the face out somehow.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, because it does. Because I remember where the face was, what I saw. It didn't look like a big face, big head, but his face was encrunched in with the hair and stuff, really dark.
Yeah, that's
so it. I couldn't see. Obviously, it would have had darker skin.
But they're just clever. I think it's strategic. I was talking to her the other day, and she was talking about how like the hair would be used for more. Hair is a poor man's fur, was how she said it. But it was not only is it used for keeping you warm and stuff, you can actually disguise yourself with your hair. And if you think, a lot of witnesses say they look like he's in a ghillie suit, but hair.
Yeah.
So you imagine this like ghillie suit made of hair with all leaves and everything stuck into it.
Yes.
You can't really make out features in the way that people want you to make them out. I think I was just lucky because we were so close together. But even then, it's like the darkest skin.
Yes.
Without it being black, if you get what I mean. And then they have all this camouflage going on as well.
Yeah, it was a frightening do. I mean, obviously, it's like everywhere, isn't it? They're going to have the hair of the camouflage of the area, aren't they? It's going to be They'll have different species, like we have. You know, there's English people, there's Chinese people, there's dark-coloured people. They all have different qualities, don't they? You know, dark-coloured people have dreadlocks and things like that. You're right there. Chinese people are always small. You know, and it runs in the big circle, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah, it's the same as me. It's really hard, innit? I say that to people. It's like an alien landing and going back to this planet, and they say to him, draw a human.
Yeah.
Bloody impossible.
It is, because that many types.
An example of a human, you know. It's as hard as that. And you can try all day long to describe it, and people don't know. But what I tend to do is I'll send them like 6 or 7 or 8 shots over now. Or I'll say, go on the internet and have a look and see if there's anything you can find that's kind of similar to it. And I'm starting to notice a pattern in the shape, this hunched over shape, this almost hunched back. One lady described it as a hairy hunchback. Another lass described like a creature with carrying young as if they were too young, and it sounded that kind of hunch over.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was multiple eye shine from the car. So we were trying to work out what that would be. And I thought, to me, it makes more sense that they're carrying young than the fact that there's a creature out there with 6 eyes.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it could be one of the reasons why it made the sound to me, because maybe it'd have had young ones next to it or further down.
That's it, isn't it? We just see, we when we see it, we get this quick snapshot, and it's a monster. It's like somebody else walking into a lion.
Like a living being that's managed to live in the woods, you know, unfound by people. You know, that's how it's lived.
I think the answers it could give us, I think it knows every medicine out there. It knows foodstuffs that we couldn't imagine. So you're like, in years and years to come, when you're going to have these massive famines, they'll be fine, because they know every natural food source. And then people say, oh, what do they eat? Well, I don't think they go around killing deer a lot because Stone Age man didn't. Most of Stone Age man's protein was made up from plants and grubs and insects. So there wasn't a whole lot of big deer kills going on back in the Stone Age days. You ate as you moved, and you ate like bugs and grasshoppers and frogs. And, you get what I mean? Small doses of protein. If you look at it, and then every now and again you get a big kill. What's your thoughts on whether some people ask me, right, and you're not going to believe this, right, but is there just one? Is there just one? And I say no, because they come in all shapes, sizes and colours.
Yes.
I think, and like, feel free to disagree with me, that at times of the year they kind of meet up, or...
Yes. Yeah, see, just to keep the numbers down so there's not as many sighted if need be, you know, that they spread, like they have sort of, yeah. I mean, it could make perfect sense, really. Hence why, you know, they're seen all over the world. Yeah. Because there's different types of them. You know, you've got the Yeti, you've got the Sasquatch, you've got the Bigfoot, the Yowie. You know, it goes all around, doesn't it? The wild man, the woodwoose, you know. Yeah. Each one of them, I mean, each one of them could be just completely different race altogether.
Yeah, it could very well be. Or they could be like us, they're on the same genetic line somehow.
They've just...
you know, we've got Neanderthal in us, haven't we? Most of us Brits have got Neanderthal on us. And I know the Russians have because of the work that Iger's done on Zana's skull. She came back as sub-Saharan African. And that was in Russia. But when you were describing your village, that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking all of the habituations I know in Russia are in exactly that situation, where you've got a really small village with a number of rivers that pass it and lots of food fields. And they call them the lesha, and it's something to do with them stealing food from the fields. Right. And it's just accepted. They're accepted in Russia. They're not seen as anything. They just call it the wild people to them. Oh. So... Iger just goes from village to village and asks, and you've got all these stories that run for generation after generation in families, all describing the same things, like the same bits we get here where horse blankets get stolen and, you know, horse feed goes and stuff like that. All similar stories in little tiny villages like Tarleton.
Yes.
West, and we accept it of Russia and America. Yeah. But the minute you try and say, well, I live in that situation, then it happened to me, they go, not in the UK. Nope, not in the UK.
Yes. Yeah, well, I watched. Funny because I've watched a couple of episodes of that Finding Bigfoot. I've giggled my way through most of them, thinking it's not that way. You're doing it.
Yeah, stop it. That's what I think. You shout at the killer.
Yeah, I'm thinking, what are you doing? What are you doing? you know, they're out there to find it. Don't find it. If it wants to be found, it'll come and knock on for you.
Yeah, I agree.
They just want to live in peace. Leave them be. Let the woods to them. That's their place.
Yeah. It's exactly that. It is. I'd be the same. Wood knocking and all that, don't do any of it. You might as well just announce your presence.
Yeah. You know, just leave them to it. They're not causing any harm. Let them do what they do. The woods is theirs. We've taken everything else.
Yeah, well, yeah, I feel exactly the same. They have managed not only to live out there in the wild, but with us doing everything we can to make it impossible for them. Poisoning the water, getting rid of their food, you know, always like...
lumberjacks, getting rid of the forest, cutting them down. It just goes on, yeah.
When we went to Scotland, I loved Scotland 150%, but I didn't like the logging.
No.
Every forest we went in was new growth and being logged.
Yeah.
And I thought, where's all the old trees? There's no old... I mean, there was in like Loch Rannoch and places like that, but we hit so many forests that were being logged. It was a bit strange. It was a very weird feeling when you were in there. It was almost like nature was a bit upset. I don't really know how to put that into words.
No, I know your meaning, because when I went to Arran, I went to the Isle of Arran.
Right, I remember,
And it's beautiful. I mean, the whole island it's like a lost world, the whole island. I'm thinking a woodwoose or they'd have the field time over there. There's that much vegetation and life over there for them to, if they wanted to hunt or whatever it is they eat. You know, there's plenty of it, and it's untouched by people. That's what I love. It's untouched. I went into an area. I went to Loch Ranza at Isle of Arran, and I walked, and you could walk majority of the way, and everything's all walkways because there's not really many roads, so it's over a few walls and whatever. Just climb over them, jump over a wall here, fence there, just go through the fence walkway, and just keep walking. And you're not far before you reach dense woodland. You're in the dense woodland, and the moss in the woodland is untouched by people. It's about a foot deep, the moss. Your foot sinks in it, and it'll stay. My footprints will probably stay there for forever because it's not being touched by people. It was wonderful, and I'm thinking, but the smell, and that's what gets me when you get to dense woodland, is the smell of the pine and the you smell it all. You know, the fern, everything. It's beautiful. You think, God, come and find this place, swim over or whatever. You know, I mean, there probably is something over there anyway.
There aren't many sightings on the islands, I'll be honest.
Really?
No, not really. Oh. A, I don't think anyone's looking there. And B, I don't know. They just aren't. It's like there aren't any on the west coast of Ireland. All of the accounts in Ireland are on the northeast coast.
Oh, shocking that.
It is, isn't it? I don't know why. I really don't know why. I don't know if it's just like
places where it's, you know, they're going to find it more safe for themselves as well. Where
it might be what you said, that there's no people there, so it is ideal and no one's out there spotting them.
True, and like you said, they're going to follow the vegetation that's left from us.
Yeah, most definitely.
Our waste or whichever they might, you know. I mean, there's been sightings where they've come into urban territories as well, hasn't there?
Yeah, and normally food bins are...
you know, cities and stuff like that. I mean, New York has had sightings.
Yeah, it seems like anywhere. People see New York and they think of this like in a... I think it's New York State, is like the Pine Barrens. It's just for everything. So I would, and you would, if you were wild and times were hard, you'd take a risk. And you'd go in at dusk and dawn and you'd try and blend in and you'd think...
Go to where it's easy.
Because the children are starving. I think it's that, and I think maybe we see the scouts.
Yeah.
Because there's a number of... When you were talking and describing him, it made me think of the Boston Spa one.
Right.
Because Ian's a plumber and he's walking dog on the barn field. And he sees his Sasquatch, just hairy thing, and he couldn't make out the features. And he said to me it was as if its face was using the shadows.
Yes.
I distinctly remember it looking off to the left as if to say, no, don't come out. As if they kind of, you know, like a big strong male will go and check an area out and go, right, yeah, we're stopping here. And then he'll go, right, come on. And then you get them tales where they're almost walking in single file. So these accounts where there's 4 of them, and these are in England, and these 4 figures are walking in single file. So they're walking in each other's footprints, basically.
To slow it down. Yeah, so people don't think there's more than one. I mean, it makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, and if you do that at a slow, fluid pace, and you're already blending into the trees and the shadows, you might be seeing one, but that's not the only one that's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of that comes into my mind when I'm out, because I'm thinking it'd be so easy to idea.
Yeah. That's what they say about rats, isn't there? If there's one, there's 2. If there's 2, there's 3. And that's how they are. I mean, they'll just not, like I said, they've been living in the wild that long. You know, of all things, they know how to do well, and that's to hide.
Yeah.
If they want to be seen, they'll be seen, and they probably don't. Because of what we've done to their habitat. Basically, we've ripped everything down. They don't want to know us, really.
I think some of the accounts are by accident, and I think there was a strange one the other day. We had an account in Penn,
right? And
Hal went back to speak, just to film in the area, and there was a couple there, and they spoke about this one being on the track. He kind of was in the coffee, and he said, "Are you into Bigfoot?" And he went, "Yeah," and he ended up going out there and with them. And I'm talking to Alison, and she said, "I'm out there the other day, and I've got a Gone Squatching sticker on my bumper on my car." And a woman comes up to them and says, "Is that real?" And she went, yeah, we're looking for like the British Bigfoot. She went, "Well, I know he's in this wood because I've seen him." Wow. And she described a creature like you, where his hair was a bit matted.
Yeah.
And he didn't look very well. And she said he just stood on the path looking at me. He wasn't even bothered I was there. It was like I was an inconvenience to him.
Yes. Yes, and that's it's funny because I was saying that to Chris Turner. It was like I came in his way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I was in his walkway or whatever. It's like, he probably made the grunt to say, shift.
Yeah,
I'll put the fear of God in you. Move, because I'm coming through this way.
exactly. I felt the same. I felt like he'd been there and I'd come with my friend and disturb what he was doing.
Yeah,
and we'd been there long enough and he'd had enough. And that's why he revealed himself to me, because if he hadn't moved, I wouldn't have seen him. And I thought, years after I thought, was it just, will you just go away?
Yeah. I remember well, yeah, it's right. Because when I saw it, because we saw it, I don't think it saw us first, but it may have done. It may have known we were there. Because we weren't loud or anything at that point. We thought we saw someone coming. We thought, just see.
Yeah.
We both knew it's probably a person walking there. Just to let them have the way, walk the way through. And then it got into a little bit of a clearing. We saw it, and it was mooching round, round trees and stuff. And it was feeling the backs of trees. It was feeling the backs of them. I don't know what, but you could see it was spending a lot of time just dabbing the back of the trees, like almost like the moss side, if you will, just dabbing it, and then moving on to the next one. And I thought, that's not obviously a person walking a dog. And then it got into a main clearing part. I thought, well, it's there.
What's that?
Hello. It could have looked right at us. And it stood, but even though it was light, it was bright, sunshiny day. Its face was contoured in shadow.
Yeah.
But you could see it was looking at us. It was staring right at us, and it stopped. And how it stopped, it was quite ominous, really, how it stood, really, because it was like, I'm not really going to take any lip from you.
He probably expected you to run at that point, and you were both so stunned.
At that point, I didn't want to run at that point because it moved to the side, almost not behind a tree, but partly behind a tree. Yeah. His body was still visible, but partly behind. I'm thinking, right, I can run that way now, and it not chase me that quick.
Yeah. Like you put a tree between you and them, don't they, almost?
Yeah. It did. It almost like not like almost like it was hiding its foot behind the tree, and then it backed up not into the shadow because it was a sunny day, but backed up like almost out of sight.
Yeah, I know.
The thing is, it stood still. It didn't move. The only thing that moved was when it exhaled that grunt sound, because you could see it breathe in. It breathed in and then just let out this, like, almost. I don't even know what this. I know the sound. It's in my head, but I'm not even going to try and do it. But it was, I don't know, like you said, like a clear in the throat type of thing.
Yeah. Gargling, kind of.
It was like deeper than that, though. It was really, it was like gurgling as well.
Yeah. It has a resonance, was the best way I ever heard it. Some people call it a cadence, and some people say a resonance, like a feeling to it as well.
Yeah, like, well, you can feel it in your chest when he did it. I thought it almost went through you. I thought, oh Christ, that means we're too close. So we ran from that point, and I said, I don't think we went into that wood. Thinking on it again, we kind of like went, no, forget the woods.
We're not going back there.
There's nothing in the woods for us. Let's go to shops.
I think I kind of did that. I was like, well, that's probably the last time I'm going in there.
Yeah. I said I might hire a video or something for the night and watch a video.
That must have been invented now. I'm all right. I'll just say
it wasn't DVDs then. It was video, still VHS. So
out the back of a Ford Cortina.
Yeah, it was Video Plus.
The same. I think I still got one actually.
I probably have. I think I got a Philips up in the loft. I think I have. I think I got a Philips or a Goodman. It's one of them.
Well, unfortunately, we've come to the end of our hour.
All right.
It was good because that was lovely, wasn't it? I think I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I did actually. Hello. It's gone a bit. The sound's gone a bit funny.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Right. So I'm going to say good night to everybody. And you've been listening to the Critical Realm on the Paranormal Radio Show. teacher Mark Farnell for joining us, and I will be another wonderful guest. So until then,